Hello, everyone. Welcome to another exciting episode of Armchair Keepers of Arcane Secrets. I'm your host, Matt Ryan, and I'm joined as always with
Bob Geis.
I love that that's all you say. I do all of this heavy lifting on the open, and all you say is
That's all that needs to be said. All right. It's all that needs to be said.
guess where we are, folks. Oh, so for the people that don't know what we're doing, who are probably not watching this, even the people who know what we're doing aren't watching this.
That's a fair point. All right. I'll do this. Seeing as you
Okay.
were whining earlier.
All right.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have been running the Call of Cthulhu epic campaign, Mask of Nyarlathotep.
I'm going to get the props. Wait, you keep talking.
We have been doing this for, I would say, a year and a half at this point. Matt Ryan has completed his journey, and I am one chapter away, actually one session away from being complete, right? And so today, listeners, I will be recapping my latest session, which was last night. In the first session in the Geis Gaming Ranch, the new abode.
GGR. That sounds like an old punk rock band, GGR.
Yes, yes. Well, the Geis Gaming Ranch was open for business yesterday. I smoked a pork shoulder. I cooked some baked beans. We had coleslaw.
Is that lingo for smoking a pork shoulder?
No, it's literally. I mean,
Like
I should do that, Matt. You did the cartography thing. I should do a thing where I'm showing like the food that I'm prepping, right?
You should.
All right, smoked a pork shoulder, made some barbecue sauce, made some baked beans. The guys all came and they all like piled into the drive where I am able to get exactly 6 cars into my drive. Can't have 7 players unless they ride share.
Well, couldn't they park on the street, or it's not that kind of neighborhood?
Oh, you could park on the street if you want to get your car smashed by one of them daggum pickup trucks that come flying down the road. They'll do it.
Stop it. Do you live on a street where a road? Is it a street or a road?
Oh, it's a road.
It's a road.
It's a road.
So do tractors come down it?
It's very possible. I haven't seen one, but again, I live out here in the country.
Right? Next to a neighbor named Kenny who comes around smoking blunts.
Well, his name is Joe, but everything else was correct. There is a dark young in my backyard, maybe 2, right? Again, we have a whole place for cult ceremonies. I have a barn out there that I have a plastic tub in and some shower curtains on the floor for no reason. And so so that's but I digress. The session.
Okay. Oh no, wait, but go slow, because this is the first time at the Geis Gaming Ranch, so I want to savor every second of this.
Fantastic. So it was great.
So did you guys stand Did you stand like in your t-shirts in the driveway eating pork shoulder?
We didn't. We did not, because there's no room in the driveway because of the 6 cars.
Oh no!
But I don't know. Cars. I don't know what my neighbor Joe was thinking. He's going to have to get used to the Geis Gaming Ranch and the strange sorts of folk that we attract. Wait till later this summer when I have some tall dude with a mohawk pull up.
That's right. That's right.
So yeah, it was great. It was great, Matt. It was fantastic to be gaming again, because it's been over a month since I had gamed after all the movie extravaganza.
Gaming is good. All right, so you brought him in. There's plenty of room in the gaming room. So you're sitting around the tables at the same table, same physical.
Same table. Yep. The only thing I don't have the TV mounted yet, so I had to display my stuff on a little monitor to the side. But that's okay. We'll get through all that stuff. But the bottom line is, I had like a whole 3 weeks to prep for this session, so I was amped for it. I was totally amped.
So where were we when you started?
So they were in Nairobi. They had the last session, they had completed the train. They had talked to Bundari. They had basically gotten the inside story on what's happening there in Kenya. So they this session, what they did was they started the safari. And again, we both talked about the importance of kind of capturing that journey, right? It's not like you're just walking down the street to the corner store. It's a real expedition
through the woods, right? It's not like you're just taking a hike through the woods. It's a whole different beast.
Exactly. And so I had watched I think you watched more movies. I watched one movie that kind of did it for me, and then I kind of planned out what I wanted this safari to be. And so, I'm playing effectively 3 games, with this last leg of the journey, because again, I have the things that are happening in Yalisha's head, right? Because again, she's the one who thinks that she is the Nitocris reincarnated.
This is a
Uh,
player,
that's a
a
player,
player.
yes, a
Yeah,
player.
yeah,
And
yeah.
then I have, the recurring visions, because I wanted Hypatia Masters to be more of a relevant factor in this. I have visions of her that I'm throwing in this chapter, right? And then
Sure,
there's the
sure.
standard narrative as they're moving to the Mountain of the Black Wind. And so, per the narrative, there's a couple different paths they can take. They can take the quicker path, which is more dangerous, or they can have the longer path, which is, goes by the forest, and again, essentially the same thing, right? Again, but it gives them the choice of doing something, right? So
Right,
they
right.
did that. And again, I didn't want this session to be about physical threats, right? This is not about physical danger. This is all about, going to the epicenter of the horror that is occurring there. And so it's all the creepy things. So, one night they just heard, a scream in the night, this terrible scream in the night. And then I created like this little metric where some of the porters could desert, right? So they had a dozen porters, and so some could desert. And so, I let them roll for that and see if they had anybody left. And I had like little pictures for all 12 of the porters,
Oh,
right? And
really?
so, yeah. And so then as they would leave, I would put a little X on them, right? So they were worried because each of these porters had a different job and a different personality, sort
And
of, right?
gear, right? And gear.
Yeah. And then they would leave. So they would start dropping out. And it's like, oh no, who's going to be next? So then, and I had like a daytime event and a nighttime event. One of the events I'm very proud of is that I had them stumble onto a camp. And in this, it was like there was just a fire, and around it there were 6 bodies, and the bodies were mutilated, right? But they bore physical resemblance to the player characters, right? So each of them saw themselves in these characters, and so that weirded them out, right? So they did that. They heard it, they heard an elephant, screaming in the night, and then they found it, and it had been attacked by something, right? Something had
Oh, I
tore
did
an
the same
elephant
thing. Yeah,
apart.
I did the
Yeah,
same. Yeah, yeah. So you ran a proper safari, it sounds like. You spent some
yeah,
time doing it.
yeah, yeah. It was a whole session. Whole session was a safari, right?
Oh, and
And
that's
so,
how I ran it.
yeah, yeah. So no, I think it merited that, right? And again, there's no way I could have, got them back into the groove and did the finale in one session, right? So I had to have
Right.
some sort of like a filler session to kind of get everybody back in, into the vibe. So we did that. Yalisha had visions, or she had more like voices. She heard voices in her head, basically proclaiming her to be this, like, the third member of the triumvirate, with Nyarlathotep and Imwuru, and Nitocris is right there, in her mind. So, and again, the players are seeing me hand these little notes to that
Oh,
player,
you're a
and so they
note
know
passer.
something
You're
is.
a note passer.
They know something's happening. They know something's happening. And again, but they're just not doing anything about it, right? It's like nobody's saying, Alicia, what's your deal? What's your deal?
Well, but in the narrative of the investigators don't see, notes being passed to the Elisha.
No, but again, her behavior is definitely reflected by the content of the notes. I mean, she's not
Sure,
participating in a lot of the things that they're doing, right? And
sure,
so
sure,
there's a
sure.
little bit of squirreliness there. And then also, they've been seeing these memories of Hypatia Masters, and her participation in the Carlisle expedition, right? So they've seen
Yeah.
her
She's
doing
sort of a
things.
forgotten member, I think,
Right.
in the
I
campaign. She's
agree.
kind of got one role, and it's man, a great role, right?
It is. On the contrary, it is going to be a magnificent role, because okay, so they saw her, like, wandering through a village, right? There was another village they found that was deserted, but and they saw Hypatia wandering through this village, and they pursued her. Of course, it was just more like a ghost, right? A vision.
Sure,
And
sure.
then when they went to the corrupt ground, that place where the
Oh, did they
Carlisle
visit there? They
expedition.
visited there?
they went there, and they were weirded out by it, and they didn't interact with it overly much, but they
Not a lot
did.
you can do, is there?
No, no, no. It's just dirty, nasty ground, right? But
Yeah.
they did see a vision of Hypatia being lifted up, and I'm imagining a hunting horror taking her and flying her to the mountain of the Black Wind, where she has a special role to play. But they saw that, and again, it's like, what happened? What happened? And then the session, Matt, ended up with them at the foot of the mountain, and all the time I've been talking about how they don't feel that they're alone on this expedition. They feel that people are around them. They hear noises, they hear voices, but just out of eyeshot. And occasionally they'll get a glimpse of another expedition headed in that direction, right? So they know that they're not the only people out here. And by the time they get there, I described it as like a base camp for an expedition up Mount Everest. So there's people all around. So it's like they get here to the base of the mountain of the Black Wind, and they're amongst a crowd of people, like, all in little bunches, right? All these different parties have arrived. And
Can they
so,
interact with them if they want?
funny you should ask, right? So, that was like at the end of the session, one of my players, Walter Humphreys, who is, I think, the Paleo, who I know, I think Walter's one of the characters that was brought into the game, not one of the pregens, but Walter goes over to one of these other parties and basically says, "Hey, guys, what are you doing here?" And I interpreted that as basically him stumbling onto a very bad scene, and this fellow who is not friendly, not traditionally friendly. We'll just say he's not traditionally friendly. Greeted him.
Untraditionally friendly. I wonder what that means.
Right, right. Well, he found out when he just got. So the guy just knifed Walter right to death right there, right? Like,
To
put his
death.
arm around him. Yes, just stabbed him to death. Stabbed him to
You
death
lost an
there.
investigator.
Right there again, because I wanted to show them that the stakes are very high at this point, right? And you don't go fooling around with these madmen
I
that are
hope there
on
was
this
a
mountain.
porter left for the poor player.
There's a porters of plenty, right? We had some desertions. We did have some desertions, but there are porters of plenty. So that's how this session ended with Walter, who was one of the OG characters. He was started in New York and has made it all this way, to this. And so there's only one player standing, Johnny, who is the other character who is from the beginning, right? So we've had lots of casualties in fits and starts throughout the
Oh
campaign.
my. Oh
But
my.
and we all decided we're going to play again next week. So next Thursday, I'll be finishing the campaign.
When next Thursday, it's over.
Yes.
Well, that's great timing because we're going to start running Stillwater. My first game of Stillwater is next Friday.
Yep. Yep. I know. I know.
Well, that's a lot to unpack, Bob. So first, and like you, gentle viewers, this is the first time I'm hearing about Bob's evil plan here in his game. So you two puffed up the safari to be a whole session.
Yeah, I think that was a great idea, Matt. I mean, it really, you could have just hand waved and said you get there, but there, it's like the road to Mordor, right? You want the journey to be meaningful, right?
Yeah, yeah. True. Wow, you're gonna have a great ending.
It's going to be fantastic, right? It's going to be fantastic because I want them to, I'm going to start the session with a Hypatia Masters imploring them to save her, right? She's going to be imploring the players to save her, and then when they get to the reveal on that, man, that's going to be beautiful, beautiful, right?
I feel like you're
Beautiful.
reeling them in. I feel like you're reeling them in with false promises,
Uh,
which in a way though is kind of what Nyarlathotep had done to the original expedition in a way. If you
well,
think about it
again,
that way.
it's like one of those things where it's like the desire on Hypatia is not in her right mind. She wants to be rescued. She just doesn't know that's impossible, right? So it's going to be that sort of a horrible, awful experience. If I can pull that off, it's going to be magic.
I think though, I think Hypatia though might want to be rescued. I don't think she's probably digging. I mean, she apparently
No. She absolutely wants to be rescued. She just can't be rescued.
I don't think she can be. Yeah, no, I don't think she
Yeah.
can be.
Which is I mean, again, if she didn't want to be rescued and it was just a ploy, that would be nothing. It's the fact that she wants to be rescued and can't be rescued. The tragedy.
So you're gonna have to engineer some kind of an interaction there or something, right? Some
Oh,
kind
yeah.
of they need to talk to her or something.
Oh, yes.
She's got to plead. She's got to plead and beg for help.
Absolutely. It's going to be horrible. Horrible.
I cannot wait to see this go on. Now, so they know next week's the last game. Do they know it's the conclusion?
Yeah. I told them that, next week, we're finishing.
We're putting this baby to bed. So you've got the hand grenade guy, right? The Hypatia. He's going to go. He'll pull some shenanigans because it's the last one.
Oh yeah. Again, and there's no sanity to be lost, right? I mean, there's no sanity to be lost. The people are so the fray. I think somebody has 50 sanity and they're like in the lead, right? I mean, it is brutal.
That's quite a bit of sanity, quite a bit of sanity.
Yeah.
I'm very happy for you. I can't wait. So our timelines are going to be a little messy. And we don't know how this is going to, maybe we'll stagger releases as we go. Because Bob and I have some plans. Because I think we should have an episode, Bob, where we just talk about, it's done.
Yep.
We put this fucker to bed.
Yep.
It's done. It might be interesting to have some other folks on the show with us. We've put this thing to bed. What do we think? Now, I don't know. I don't think there'll be surprises. You love the thing.
I do.
This is the 4th time you've run it.
Yeah. Let's save that.
We'll save that. Yeah, folks. We're almost done with this episode. We're running out of time. Bob and I have got some big plans. Imagine, if you will, the possibility that you sitting at home in your living room watching us on a widescreen TV could come. You could talk about a safari into the unknown. You could come to a distant location in central New York and you could play over a weekend the entire Masks of Nyarlathotep campaign with Bob and I in the comforts of a luxury mansion built in 1922.
That sounds pretty sweet.
Imagine that, folks, as more will be revealed on this epic adventure that Bob and I are working on behind the scenes. What other fun shit we got going on, Bob?
Let me see. It's starting on to con season, right? Next month I'll be headed to Origins.
We're moving in. We got a bag full of dice. Look at that. Listen.
Can't hear it.
What the goddamn echo canceling kills it. Okay, rattle, rattle, rattle. Did you hear that?
I heard that.
So if you see us at a show, come on up, get some dice, get a hug. We're all about the hugs.
Yeah.
Thanks for taking this journey with us, folks. Like, share, repeat, and we will see you. Subscribe. Ooh, we've got 224 subscribers. I just checked. And here's a personal thank you from me, Matt Ryan, to all 224 of you.
I thank you as well. It's not just him.
We're all riled up. I don't own a t-shirt that doesn't have some kind of image plastered on it. I looked for one today. It's the story of my life. We'll see you next time, folks.